Do it's Camdork.
Hello everyone, this is Camdork, and welcome to episode number 61 of Season 2 of my Buildcraft, where we play Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Thermal Expansion, and Forestry. And we're once again enjoying the view at the robot base, where we realize, or at least I realize, it's not as flat as I thought it was. So this base, which we're going to be working on today, so for those of you who wanted to see more robots, right off the bat, I'm just going to say we're seeing more robots today. But first, we have this area that's not quite as flat, like I said, as I would want it to be. And what I'm going to build is actually going to need, well, actually it doesn't need that much flat area on the surface. So maybe I'll be alright. Actually, maybe we'll build it kind of down into there. That'd be kind of fun. Just sort of down in that area. Yeah, maybe we could. We could. But thinking about it, maybe that's not actually the best place. But anyway, welcome guys. Welcome to episode 61. It is going to be a blast, and it is going to be fulfilling because today we're using the filler and we're doing some fun old things. Now, first of all, what I want to do is actually get some stuff going. So I have these igneous extruders, nothing too unusual here, but they are reinforced and they are awesome. So hold on just a second while I smack one down, and you'll see these igneous extruders are supercharged, so they can put out 32 cobblestone in one operation versus just one, which is like the basic one. This is a feature of the thermal expansion mod we don't really look at too much, and that is that you can do this thing called augmentation, and you can add these things in. These are added kind of by default when you build one, but not always there because I had machines from previous before they had all this business of augmentation. But anyways, there's specific things that allow you to, in this case, automated servo mechanism allows automated output, which used to be standard, redstone control, which again used to be standard, and modular framework, which again used to be standard. If you take it away, notice that you don't see that modular framework thing anymore. If you take this away, notice you don't have the redstone control thingy anymore. And if you take this away, well, you don't see the difference, but it won't automatically push this to a pipe or a chest or something like that. And then these other two are pretty cool. You can stack them. These are accelerated extrusion specific for this igneous extruder. And as you see, it increases the number of things per operation as well as the water consumed. Pretty cool. And there's other ones for making machines faster, but they use a little more power, basically super or overcharging or like super, like overclocking it essentially. Yeah, so pretty cool. And I don't know why these are also like that. There you go. They should stack. Weird. They're all the same. So I got 3 of them. We're going to need a whole bunch of cobblestone, and that's why I brought them over here. So let me just gather a few more extra items, and then I'll describe about what I'm doing today, what we're actually going to be doing today. It's going to be pretty fun. Okay, so see you in just a second. So everyone, here we're in the creative world where I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to be doing today in the robot base. So we're going to build something robotic, or something using robots, and in this case we're going to use a robot knight. So we're going to build ourselves, using the robot knight, we're going to build ourselves a robot-based mob system. Gonna warn you, this is not going to be quite as efficient as a standard mob system, but it will be cooler because robots, right? So remember, a lot of the things with the robot base is maybe not quite as efficient as you might think, but we build them because robots. Got it? So good. Alright, so we have a chest here. It has a sword in it. That's where the robot is going to get his ammunition of sorts. And we're going to have something for the robot to fight, so that's why I have built this little arena here. And so when I flick this switch, it tells the robot to work in an area, and that area is fight plus loot. So that means it's the arena plus this area that includes the chest. And this guy is also going to be working in the same area. This is a picker robot, and he's going to be picking up the items that drop. So let's go turn this on and see what he does. You'll see the robot first picks up a sword. Takes just a moment. Okay. And goes into the arena to fight the skeleton. Now, let's note a few things. First of all, note how many hits the robot takes to kill this skeleton. It's a diamond sword, remember? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10? Now I am using a Buildcraft version that's a little older, so maybe when I upgrade or update, it'll actually be a little more efficient at killing them because it's not really registering that that is a diamond sword. It's almost like he's hitting it with his bare hands or something. But the picker robot should be picking it up. Let's wake him up. Wake up! There we go. Okay, and the picker robot's gonna pick it up and then drop it off in the chest. So that's basically how we're gonna be. That's the fundamental principle of this mob farm. You'll notice that this floor, however, is obsidian. Why is that? Well, let's spawn a creeper and see. You'll notice there's a bunch of arrows on the floor because the robots, they fight back. So, or I should say the mobs fight back. So let's wake up our little robot once again. Wake up! Now, the robots do wake up on their own every few minutes. So he would have checked and eventually seen that there's a creeper there, but we would have had to wait for that. So you'll notice, of course, yeah, the creeper explodes because he's been, well, he's being fought by a robot. So the mobs register it as an attack. So that's part of the reason why it's not going to be super efficient. I will be getting some gunpowder as creepers explode other creepers in the mob trap, but yeah, that's the reason why we're going to have an obsidian floor so that we don't destroy our mob farm. I don't really need an obsidian on the ceiling, but I probably need something along the sides too, because otherwise we're going to have the mobs on the side and extending it that way. So we're going to need to have a bunch of obsidian. Luckily, we have ways of getting that pretty easily using thermal expansion. And the mob farm doesn't have to be massive, but the cool thing is that we don't need any channels. We just need a big area, an arena for the robots to fight. Okay, so let's start building this and see where we go from it. Okay, see you in a second. And so here we are again. You'll notice now this area is a lot flatter. I use the builder just to, or I'm sorry, the filler here, which again I can't get used to the way this looks now. I'm so used to the yellow and black kind of look to the old one, but we're going to build our mob farm here. Now, in the creative world, we put it up on the surface just because that's fun, but of course, just so we can get mobs in an efficient manner, we have to build this thing underground. So we're going to be building it down more than 24 blocks. That way mobs can spawn even when I'm hanging out on top. And we're going to kind of use the standard mob rules to do that. So I don't know how large it's going to be. Probably maybe like 30 by 30. It's not going to be the largest thing ever, but I'm going to make sure that the robots from their home base can reach everywhere within the setup. And if you recall, it means they have to reach it in less than 96 blocks or less. But the first thing we're going to be doing is this is what leads us to need our igneous extruder and the filler. The reason why we need these, and I put 3 of them, and we're going to need a ton of cobblestone, is because normally with mob farms, it's really key that you light up all the caves underneath. So you have to make sure that mobs can spawn nowhere else, really, except for your mob farm, in order for them to be even close to being efficient. So since we want mobs to spawn in our mob farm, we have to light up all the caves underneath. I'm lazy, though, so I'm going to let the filler do that for me. And what we're going to be doing is, instead of lighting up the caves, we're just going to fill them in with cobble. And so I just need to mark an area with the filler, and then I just fill it in. But of course, we need a lot of cobble for that, so that's why we're going to be needing these igneous extruders. So 1, okay, that should be good. Yeah, 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, space in between. Okay. And so the reason why we're doing it this way is because, all right, so here we go. We're going to make tons of chests for the cobble to be in, and we're going to have tons of cobble. And I'm just going to be resupplying myself with my filler with cobble, probably manually, just to make it easy, because we're going to have to move the filler a bunch, just so we can cover all this area around here. We actually have to cover, and I'll build up here to show you. So we're basically going to want to cover, you can fill in 64 by 64 by 64 as the max size. So we're going to be kind of setting it up in quadrants, one over there, and then one over there, and then one over here, and then one over here, and then we're probably going to have to extend it again and again and again and again and again. So it'll take a while, but it'll also take tons of cobble. Luckily, it's easy to grab a whole chest's worth of cobble because I have one of these backpacks, which I showed you last episode, I think. But let's go ahead and set up these igneous extruders. And first what we want to do is just give myself a little never-ending water supply. That's important. Yeah, right here and right here. Perfect. And actually, we'll just, there we go. Okay, never-ending water supply. Gotten. Obtained. Okay, so here we go. So, before I do it, I want to set it up for that. I also want to set these up to be, there we go, and behind it. Okay, that's the way. Do that. Behind it. To the left and the right. Whoa, did that screw it? No, that's cool. And then this guy, same thing. Shift clicking, by the way, clears it. All right, cool. So, let's set you up to go. And then let's set you up to go. And then finally, let's set you up to go. All right, cool. So this will take a little while, but it'll transfer. It actually won't take that long at all because each one of these operations is pretty quick, and now it's half a stack of cobblestone. If we didn't have those augmentations that I described before, and there's actually even one that does a full stack, I think. I just don't have you need a resonant machine for that, which uses a lot of resources. This one is not that resource intensive. But this augmentation allows us to really pretty quickly fill up this with cobblestone. So already we have a pretty decent amount. It'll be very, very quick. That way the filler can actually use it efficiently. So let me go ahead and wait for these guys to fill up a pretty good amount, and then we'll start to fill in the caves underneath. I don't need this anymore. Oh well, hope I don't need any water anymore. Okay, be right back. Okay, we're right about ready to start filling, and here we go. I should also note, just by these thermal expansion things, they don't like to treat these chests as full unless, like, this is a full chest to it. It won't actually add any more. So it's stopped working even though these chests are only half full. It's like it only registers it as a single chest on the sides. That's weird. Kind of annoying, but oh well. So our chests aren't quite as big as I thought they were. Actually, I can probably fix that and make the most of it. I just started gathering up extra cobblestone here, but that's fine. So let's plop down our filler right here. I'm probably not getting those back, those landmarks. And let's see, I'm going to give it some power. So let's go with one of these guys right there. I will need to set it to get the power out to this filler. Let's add, oops, I think I need to set it that way. Shift click should fill up the filler. Hey, what do you know? And it is set to fill, not excavate. I don't want it to fill with excavation, means it takes away the blocks that are there, and then I'll replace them with this. All I want to do is add in the spaces that are air, add in cobblestone. Okay, and then we just we give it some power. So ta-da, ta-da, blah blah. Hopefully I'm not filling in areas that I don't want to fill in. So I'm kind of filling in this quadrant right here. I didn't do the maximum area size because I ended up, whoa, here you go. I stopped, interesting. You can kind of see where the caves are underneath there. Oh my goodness, this is pretty cool looking. Wow, that's pretty sweet. Look how cool that looks. Nice. And nice. Wow, that's pretty sweet. So this will take a little while though, but man, that is pretty cool. And they also fixed, I noticed before, they fixed this where the output will stop when the filler has nothing left to do. It used to be the case where thermal expansion engine or machines, or I should say energy cells, would just keep giving power to the filler forever and ever and ever. So you would end up wasting power. But now they sort of fixed that, so it has plenty of power. It'll get power as fast as it can, and then when it doesn't need any more power, it will stop. But this is pretty cool looking. Wow, that's pretty fun. All right, so that'll run for a while. Let me make my setup here a little bit more efficient. I'll be back as I start to fill in more and more. This will take a while, though. Okay, round 2. So this time we are going to be filling in this section. It's going to be a big block. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch here, but that's okay. We'll be filling in that. Will be slightly ugly for a while until I fix it, but that's okay. All right, there we go. That should, yeah, so it's carving out a place. We're going to put the energy cell here instead, and we got to fill this up. We got not a backpack full. We'll grab one from here. Yeah, there we go. And we'll grab also some here. Cool, backpack full. If I go with the down arrow and then shift click, it should fill up. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this will take some extra. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. Wow, going through the cobblestone like crazy, and off we go. All right. Be back. Okay, as this is going, I just had a thought, actually. I kind of watched how long it took to fill up this cobblestone and how long it was taking for these igneous extruders to work properly. And as it turns out, we should just be able to do it with one that has these augmentations. So I'm going to fill them up and fill them up. And this should supply our filler just as quickly as it's used. So check it out. It's almost exactly matched up with the maximum operating filler and the cobblestone. It's just a little bit slower, it looks like. Just a little bit slower, but it looks like it's perfectly fine. So we can kind of use that. I didn't need all these. Huh. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay. I got plenty of cobblestone now. I'll just have to destroy it all somehow. But that's okay. So yeah, I figured out how to be a little more efficient. But I'm going to have to be. It's going to take me a while because we're not even done here. There's a lot of caves underneath, it appears. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. There's not a lot of caves. Every time you place this, you have to click this "Do not excavate." So it was actually excavating as well as filling. Ooh, whoops! So there's going to be a whole bunch of filled-in stuff, but that's okay. No big deal. Now you can actually see the caves where they are. Like you can see, there's a cave somewhere around here that goes this way, and it's about what 5 or 6 blocks wide. That's pretty cool. You can actually see where the caves are. That's pretty sweet. It's not done, is it? No, it can't be done. It's totally not done. No, it's still working. It's just oh, it's out of power. Okay, be right back. Well, we're still filling up some things. This will be the last quadrant that I need. It's filling up this quadrant over in this area. So you can kind of see it might be just about done now. It's not going to fill this up all the way. It's only going to fill it up to the same level as over there, but it's pretty close to being done. It'll be the last quadrant I fill in, at least at this point. So while that's happening, we're going to be continuing the mob farm here. And we're not going to be finishing it today, obviously, but we're just going to sort of build the layout. I want to dig the area underneath and also set the obsidian. And we'll do the robot magic in the next episode. So down here you can see we're at Y value of 72. Down in here it is a Y value of 45. So that's at least 24. I think 24 is probably about up there somewhere. I think if I did the math right. So that means that this area will be area that is available for mobs to spawn in, no problem, because I can't spawn less than 24 blocks than you. I don't know if it is including 24 blocks. I'm not really sure if that means their heads can't be 24 blocks from your feet, so I just went down a few blocks, and 45 is a nice even number to figure out. Now, if you look in our miner's backpack, we have all of our obsidian. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stacks. Almost 11 stacks. This is going to be enough to do just about, I think, a 26 by 26. But we're going to be, since we have a 3 by 3 little area here, we're going to just make it 25 by 25. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out the 25 by 25. By the time I finish, I'll be able to grab my filler back and use it to clear out an area down here. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, so the filler finished what it was filling. Now it's time to make this room into a mob spawner. And, well, right now it basically is. It's 25 blocks below, and we've cleared it out. It's 25 wide by 25 deep by 3 blocks high right now, but what we're going to do with the floor block here is, or the last block on the floor here, is turn it into entirely obsidian. So let's mark out an area just with 3 little landmarks here, and then use the filler to fill it in, because it is quicker than doing it ourselves. So right click here, that shows a nice little box, and where's the filler? There you are. Oh, it's right here. So there's the filler, and let's give it some, I believe the only thing in here is obsidian, so I should just be able to do the same thing I've been doing. Boom. There it is, and we got to set it to fill. It's going to fill, so it's going to fill in this last block area, and then boom. There we go. Obsidian away. And there we go. So cool. I'm going to use this time to just talk to you a little bit, guys, about the upload schedule. So I haven't been uploading quite so often. I've been playing a lot of other things and been quite busy with some life-related, life-related things. So that's the reason why you haven't been seeing a bunch of uploads. I've been actually sitting on this episode for quite a while. I've just come back to it after a few weeks of hiatus, but now back again and still have some ideas for what I'm going to do with this world. The Buildcraft mod itself, though, is a little bit, uncertain, to be honest. AC, who has been the lead developer on Buildcraft, has left. He has left to pursue some other mods that he's working on, which look pretty cool. But that means that Buildcraft is left without a lead designer guy. So I'm slightly concerned about what's going to happen to Buildcraft. Hopefully, the other mods will, or the other developers will kind of pick up the reins and continue to work on the mod. I do hope that's the case. And if it's not, well, then that's the way it is. But I believe someone's still working on an update to Minecraft 1.8, if I'm not mistaken, and well, we'll be anticipating that. So this is a mob spawner at this point. It should spawn some mobs. A little afraid of checking it out. But I should use this time to explain a bit about how it's going to work. So let's try to get up to the surface. Oh, please work, please work. Ugh, I missed a few times and I actually died, and one time I saved myself with an ender pearl. I don't know if you knew this, but if you ender pearl and basically kill yourself, or if you're falling and you die before your ender pearl lands and you respawn, and then your ender pearl lands after you respawn, you'll actually warp to where you are. So say you're falling from a great height, and just before you die you throw an ender pearl, and then when you respawn and the ender pearl lands, you'll respawn where the ender pearl lands. So it's landed. So it's actually a nice way to not have to walk a large distance. But anyway, so we have our area where the mobs can spawn. It's obsidian floored because we know creepers are going to explode. And by the way, I should be getting records from this mob spawner as well. Let's go ahead back to the main base, though, and make some of the robots, and then we'll be probably closing out the episode by a one last trip in the creative world to show you a little bit of a bug that I've encountered, and we're just going to have to learn how to deal with that in our mob farm. So I'll see you in just a second. We're back in the main base and staring at our assembly table area where we have an assembly table. But we have, more importantly, we're going to be using right now the programming table and the integration table. The integration table is going to be making our night robots. We have 2 right now, and okay, well, I guess I have more redstone boards than I need. But I have 4 more robots to program. So the robots themselves, they are just bare bones basic things that you make in a crafting table with a redstone crystal, which is made in an assembly table by placing a block of redstone on there, and these diamond chipsets, which are also made in an assembly table. So these robots, though, they have to be placed in this integration table, and we'll throw them in here right now. And you need, in this location, you need to place a redstone board. This, however, is not what you need. You need something that's actually programmed. So in order to program it, you put it on the programming table. And I think I need some power first. Okay, that should work. So these guys work on power. We're going to use the programming table to make ourselves, we want 1 more night robot, and then in total 3 picker robots. So if we select the night robot, and I think I can I don't know if it's going to continually make them. I don't think so. I think it only makes 1 at a time. Okay, so it turns it into a night robot board, and then we're going to need to make 3 picker robots right there. Come on. This is actually a bug I've found. The programming table doesn't like to, once it's set to night, it doesn't like to reset itself. So if you just take it and put it back, then it kind of works again. I don't really know why that is, but there you go. Okay, so there you go. So that'll make some picker robots. In the meantime, we'll program this guy to be a night robot. And there we go. We got 1 picker robot thing. We need 2 more. Okay, we got our 3rd night robot. And now we need a picker robot. We'll take this guy. Make another picker robot once this is done. Okay, there's our picker robot. We'll make another picker robot. And finally, we have our third one and our extra redstone board, which I guess I'll just put right in here. Why not? Okay, and then the final picker robot. Hooray! Okay, so cool. Do these guys stack? No, they don't stack. Okay, so this will be what we use in our robot mob farm, where we hopefully will get a bunch of things. And in theory, we'll be getting records as well, because the skeletons will shoot at the robots, and it might actually hit a creeper. I just hope that not too many creepers explode, thereby removing all the items. The very good thing is that robots don't get damaged by mobs, so they'll survive, even if the items will not all survive. So, to close out today's episode, sorry, it was a lot of just filling in things, I know, but it's still a lot of preparations we need to make things in Minecraft. So to close out today's episode, though, let's go back to the creative world and learn a little bit more about the night robots and how they function, at least at this point, because they're a little bit buggy, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a moment. Back in the creative world here, it's time to show you a little bit of an issue with the night robot that we'll have to deal with in our mob farm. So, recall that when I showed the mob farm before, we threw a skeleton down in here, we gave the robot a sword, we gave him a diamond sword, and it took 10 hits to kill the skeleton, which I mentioned was actually kind of odd that it would take that long to hit the skeleton. So let's try to, and that was with the diamond sword, which is a +7 attack damage. This time, let's try to do the same thing with a +4 attack damage wooden sword, and count how many, whoops, and count how many hits it takes for the robot to destroy the skeleton. So again, recall it took 10 hits with the diamond sword, and this time the robot approaches the skeleton, and let's count the number of hits it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So just like with the diamond sword, the wooden sword actually took 10 hits to kill the skeleton. And we know that that's... Oh, wow, okay, well I guess it's... he's going after this one too. Ah, the skeleton stepped out of his bounds. That's interesting. I think it only covers just this area, I think, outside of it. But anyway, so that obviously indicates what's sort of wrong with this setup, or what's wrong with the robot, is that it's a little bit bugged. It's not recognizing the swords quite properly. So now what happens? I want to do one more test before we close out the episode. So I'm gonna grab the robot again. I'm gonna grab this night robot once again. And this time, instead of a diamond sword, we're going to do a fire aspect diamond sword. So in theory, this should actually catch the skeleton on fire, as well as taking, in theory, a lot less because you'll be on fire. So let's go. Oh, did it again. Come on, get out of here. There we go. Okay. So let's see. He's going to pick up his enchanted sword, which, from what I can tell, it will be enchanted looking yet. See, it looks like it has that nice enchanted glow. And now this time, let's see if the skeleton catches on fire. Ah, interesting. So it appears that the enchantments are being recognized correctly. The one thing that is not recognized, however, is that the sword itself does not do more damage according to the damage characteristics of the sword. Okay, well that's interesting. It's something we're going to be dealing with then, but it means we can enchant swords, but we cannot... but it doesn't make sense to use anything other than a wooden sword. And oh yeah, the area is kind of over here too, so that's yeah. Well, there you go. That's the idea about the mob farm. You see, we're gonna get some other stuff too as the creepers blow up other mobs. Okay, well that's pretty cool. Next episode we will be putting in the robots themselves and some of the logic surrounding them. Remember, we're going to use 3 of these night robots and 3 picker robots to pick up everything. We're going to have to set up some chests and some areas where they can pick up their swords. And then later on, we'll probably do an area where we can replenish the swords if they get low. And because as far as I can tell, the knight actually does use up the sword. So if I grab this back, the durability of the wooden sword, for example, is there. So it means that the robot actually uses the sword, so the durability goes down. So it will eventually need another sword. Okay, guys, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and sorry again for the little bit of a long time in between these episodes. Hopefully, episode 62 will come at a quicker time, and I'll see you then. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye now.